One of my cameras over. Let's see if we're working. Okay. That looks like it's working to me. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? We got whole bunch of craziness. That's what we got. That's what we're going to be checking out today. So, a little bit later, chatting or streaming today because I was waiting for some stuff to print. I'll show you that in a second. But first off, I want to talk about battletech table. So, my goal for a battletech table is to do a 2x2 table made out of 8-inch squares. Okay, so this is an 8x8 square. And how it's going to go, it's essentially 3 of them are going to go across the table like that. And they're all going to interconnect and intersect with each other. And they're all also going to be rotatable. So the way this is going to work is I have these road tiles, and they are going to line up in the middle of each one of these so that as it gets turned, they become a interconnected highway around the entire city. All right. My plan for this was to take, say, this tile and one of these and put it like this and essentially cut it down on a break point so that it had a flat line, so each one of these would have a flat line between the tiles. Cutting them down didn't quite work as desired. The saw I have to do a straight, like a perfectly good straight cut that will not eat up much of the material is a hand saw, and it's a giant pain in the tail. The saw I have that uses a miter box for cutting these down eats up a bunch of material because it's not a fine enough blade on the saw. So the concept was to basically do this and have it line up like that, right? Okay, that's awesome if the saw had cut well, but it didn't. I tried it on a couple different pieces. See that one, and then you can see I tried cutting one down here, one of the long roads. And I was like, oh, maybe I'll just start there and then move it. The cut down ones, I'm not good enough at cutting, nor do I have the tools to really make that viable. However, I said I can cut these down digitally and just reprint them. So I went into Tinkercad and determined that I need about 3 bricks worth to get to the middle of the road, right? To have this essentially quartered off into 4s like this. Right? So I was like, okay, I need about 3 bricks worth. Okay. When I do 3 bricks, I'm actually about 1 tile short. So I decided to take that difference and split it. So I can take that difference and split it. And this is about a tile and a third. And it fits damn near perfectly. So if you wanted to do 8x8 tiles, you would have to take one of the short tiles for these. And I've talked about these a bunch in the past, but these are the road tiles made by Corvus Game Terrain. No, these are the ones not made by Corvus Game Terrain. All my buildings are Corvus Game Terrain. These are the ones, they're made by the same company that does Hextech. They're really nice roads, but the product itself is kind of crappy because like you don't. There's a version of these that have hexes, but like you don't get that when you buy the STL for, which is kind of lame. But if you wanted to do 8x8 tiles, if you go into Tinkercad and cut these down to 3 blocks plus about a third, which on the Tinkercad like grid system is 1 block. This is 1 block on the Tinkercad grid system in addition to each one of these tile blocks. That's a lot, word block a lot, but it gives us damn near perfect across it. So the reason I'm streaming late today is because I intended these to print out last night. But they all decided to print out, or my printer decided it would be like, no, dogs, I don't want to print those while you're sleeping and make really easy. I'm going to print those out after you wake up. So, yeah, it got stuck and I had to fix it and we had to wait for it. But I now have 1 billion of these short ends to use. And the cool thing about that is that when they made this road system, it all lines up. So now that I have this one brick that lines up, it forces all the other bricks to line up. You're probably like, what? That doesn't make sense. Oh, watch this shit. So each one of these block sections that they made for the highways are actually uniformly sized. And they don't advertise this as far as I'm aware, but they are, so that they kind of actually always run together. And the sizes always add up, right? So there's an 8x8 block with divided highway using these like slightly shorter road sections, right? So there's one. Here's one with, they come with a little spacer so that the holes at the bottom there, they don't get left. I mean, they don't collapse, which is very nice, but I just got to remember to take them out. Here's one of the long road sections. Perfect. For whatever reason, these short road sections, they add up to all the other road sections perfectly. And what we're going to get is we're going to get an interconnected road that's going to look like that. So there's going to be a very slight little gap, but I'm okay with that. I think that's fine. That's just the nature of having a tile board. You know what I mean? I don't think that's the end of the world. We're talking gap will be about that, right? And that's fine with me, right? That's the nature of having interchangeable board, to be honest. It's very hard to avoid or hide those kind of gaps. Excuse me. Now, even cooler, these road sections also work with the bends. So I can use these bends to get a 90-degree tile as well and have it line up still. Pretty freaking dope, huh? So I wanted to share this. This is like not the most like hobby fancy portion of this table building, but it's the portion I really wanted to share first off. One, because I have to do it first. And two, this is the portion I got stuck on, right? I was like, all right, I want to build an 8x8 table. I found some buildings. You know, these are the ones from Corvus Game Terrain. They still need some love being painted, but I was like, all right, I found some buildings to use. That's cool. You know, um, I've got my mechs. Burn, 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 pew, 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 right? Um, but the roads are kind of like what defines the city block, really, are kind of it's the roads, right? So because of that, I uh, needed to start with these, right? Because if the roads don't work, the entire project's just not going to work. Just flat out, it's not going to happen. So I really needed to start with the roads and get those working correctly and good. So we can even put that cool wolf guy we painted on there. Have a giant wolf running through downtown. Oh my god, I just had Rampage vibes. Dude, I haven't seen that movie in so long. Oh my god, I want to watch that movie. It was such a fucking great movie. Anyway, sorry. We legitimately might have Rampage here now. Oh shit, look, I actually have a giant monster bear. That could totally fight Max. Oh, dude. Oh, and I could use the one-page rules and have the mechs be my heroes versus like kaiju. I've never thought about that before, but that is really cool. Okay, yeah, that might be a thing that's in our future then. Mechs versus kaiju. Technically battletech, but also not battletech. Hello. So yeah, so this is the part that I wanted to share because I do think this is the hardest part, and this is the part that if you don't get it right, the entire project fails, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to actually glue some of these down, um, and kind of get started on it. So I've got one straight and a straight with a bus lane, so we're going to use both of those. I've got two turns, so we'll use those as well. I also have this, but I don't have sides printed for the short roads yet, so we can't use any of the short roads. I haven't done those yet. I've got some of these guys. These are like dead ends. Could in theory actually put something like that, but these are going to be like dead ends. So it's going to be like a short dead end, and then we can do a big building. So I've got two of those to do. And then I've got one of these with a short road. I still need to get that side. And then I've got this guy right here, which is like a giant ass parking lot, which is pretty fun. So we're actually going to take one of the ones that glitched out and use it for that guy. So we have a giant parking lot. Um, so yeah, so that's pretty fun. So we can see we got one, two, we got the giant parking lot, we got the two dead ends, that's three. We've got two bends, that's five. Two straights is seven. One this is eight. So it means I'm actually going to only have one additional road because that's going to put me at 9 then. So, all right, we'll just start knocking them out, and we'll see how it evolves. All right, so first off, we're going to use this guy because this guy is going to be our